Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark on the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 2024 Iranian romantic drama My Favorite Cake.
Posalirás.
Hey, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think so. That's nice of you. That means a lot. My Favorite Cake has a 100% fresh rating from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes and currently no rating from the audience. Now, I just watched this movie a few days ago, but I'm going to completely butcher these names and I apologize. It stars Lily Farhandpour as Mahin and Ismail Marabi as Farmaraz. Now, I thought this movie was absolutely fantastic. It is a touching, beautiful love story about two lonely people who are getting together at the end of their lives and just enjoying one magnificent day with each other. The chemistry between Mahim and Farmaraz is unmatched. The writing is beautiful. Their acting is spectacular. This is just a fantastic movie. I've probably only seen one or two movies out of Iran, and this is just amazing. So this movie originally, in the beginning, it revolves around a woman named Mahin who lives in Tehran. She is widowed, I believe, and her two children live abroad, so she's basically by herself. And one day when she's with her friends convince her to kind of try to go out and find love and find a man and someone that she can cook for and clean for and, be happy with. Now, one striking thing about this movie is that it's shot in Iran and had to be shot kind of in secret because Mahin's character does not wear a hijab. In this movie, she drinks alcohol and she also dances, which are all taboo in Iran and which got the directors in very hot water. But anyway, she decides that she is going to try to find a man. So she goes to the local park, but she gets up at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. She is not an early bird. And when she gets to the park, she notices that there are no men there that are her age. So she starts asking around and she asks this one guy and she says, "Hey, where are all the elderly people here, all the men?" And he's all like, "Oh, they get here at 8 o'clock and then they go home and go to take a nap." So she is there at the wrong time. It's very hard for her to get up early in the morning. So this seems like it's not going to work out. And then she decides to go to this restaurant that it seems like they take some sort of like social security stubs or some sort of payment where you can use retirement money to pay for your meals. And while she's sitting there, she sees a group of men who are like chatting with each other and having a good time. But then all alone by himself is Farmaraz. And the men kind of say, "Hey, why do you come here every day, Farmaraz?" And he says, "Well, you guys have a woman who cooks and cleans for you, and I don't, so I have to get my food from this restaurant." And then he walks out. Now, Mahin asks who that gentleman was. They tell her that he owns like this cab company, or he drives for this taxi company. So she decides that she's going to wait for him and she's going to try to take his taxi specifically, which she does. And then once she gets in, they kind of they start having this conversation, and she kind of reveals like what her true intentions are, where she is divorced and she's older and she's lonely, and she saw him at this restaurant and she overheard that he didn't have a wife either. So she's kind of interested in taking him back to her place, basically, is very forward of her, but she does not waste any time. So he agrees and he says that, "Oh, this is like such a great day. This is such a great night." I believe he's estranged from his wife because they got divorced after a very short marriage. They just were not compatible with each other. So when they go back to her house, this is like where the movie really takes off. This is where the chemistry really happens. This is where like they're both sort of awkward, but they're awkward in a very sweet and romantic way. They're perfect for each other, essentially. And we learned a couple things that are important later in the movie. First of all, one thing that's very important is Farmaraz, and this is going to be some spoilers here. Actually, I'm going to spoil the whole movie. Farmaraz says that his greatest fear in life is to die alone. That he's afraid because he lives alone, he doesn't have any family around, so he's afraid that if he passes away at his house, then no one will find him because no one will come looking for him because there's no real reason for anyone to come looking for him. Like his job will just assume he stops showing up and they'll rehire and there won't be anyone there for him. Also, throughout the night, you kind of get this impression like he seems like he wants to do a lot of things that he's never done before. Like I don't know, it just seems like he thinks he's coming to the end of his life. At least that's the impression that I got. Maybe he doesn't know, and it just like at the end of the movie, while I was reflecting on things, I thought, there are scenes where it almost seems like he thinks that that's happening, but I don't know. But anyway, they end up dancing together. They drink a lot of alcohol. He talks about how he can do like repairs around the house and how he can like fix her light. He fixes some lighting for her, and they just have a very good like dinner and a very good time. And then Farmer Oz asks us if he could take a shower because he just started working, or he just got off work and he didn't realize he was going to be coming over to anyone's house, and he just wants to take a shower. And she says yes. He tries to invite her into the shower so he can wash her back, because he says like in all those romantic movies that you see on TV, like they just don't know how to wash each other's back properly. Now she does not want to do this because she does not like the way she looks unclothed. And he says, well, like, I'm not young either. So they end up sitting in the shower together, like, fully clothed, just letting the water run on them, just talking, which is, like, an amazing scene. I mean, it's hard to put into words how beautiful this relationship is after only being together for one day. It's absolutely amazing. You really want them to be together until at the end of the movie where he's, like, in a bedroom laying down by himself, and you realize that he has passed away. So he was able to pass away, but he didn't die alone. So at first I was like, oh man, this is like super sad. Is she ever going to be able to date again? Like this is like the worst ending ever. But then I realized like he didn't want to die alone, and this is probably the only chance he had to not die alone, to actually have someone there with him when he passed away. So if he's going to pass away, at least someone was there with him and his like last wishes were met, where he didn't die by himself. So she ends up like burying him in her backyard, and at the end of the movie, it seems like she's back in the park. So I think maybe she's like on the horse trying at it again. But incredibly beautiful movie. I was just totally mesmerized by it throughout the entire thing. Time just flew by watching this. I loved it. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. I hope you join me next time when I watch a movie, Make Way for Tomorrow. Thank you. Have a great day.